These new receipts change everything I thought I knew about Ryan Reybolds. People can't stop talking about the behind-the-scenes drama shaking up Marvel, all thanks to a set of so-called receipts that might expose a meltdown from Hollywood's golden boy. Child, if you thought Ryan was all wisecracks and that charming smile, buckle up because these rumors are painting a far darker picture, and it just might turn the Marvel universe upside down. Ryan Reynolds has always been everybody's favorite jokester. We're talking about a man who can make you laugh in just about any situation, from red carpet interviews to late-night talk shows. He cracked jokes about his own parenting style, teased his wife online in playful banter, and practically reinvented the art of comedic self-promotion. It's no wonder fans see him as a laid-back ray of sunshine, the kind of big-screen hero you can't help but root for. Yet here we are, facing whispers that this same Ryan might have snapped so fiercely on a Marvel set that the studio felt the need to document every messy detail. You heard me. The big rumor is that Marvel didn't just brush this meltdown under the rug, they kept receipts, baby. And apparently, these receipts are making the rounds among insiders, casting doubt on whether the Ryan Reynolds we see in interviews is the same one calling shots on a chaotic movie set. Now, let me just say this. Hollywood adores Ryan Reynolds. Marvel fans worship him. If he walked onto a stage and rattled off a random grocery list, people would probably cheer. That's why it's so shocking to picture him losing his composure enough to spark full-blown drama. But where there's smoke, there's usually a fire. And folks are starting to wonder if we've only ever seen half the story. Then again, maybe these rumors are just that, rumors. You know how folks love to spin gossip. But apparently, the reason everyone's so rattled is that multiple sources are coming forward with details so specific, it's hard to brush them off. No matter where the truth lies, the intrigue is there, and Marvel fans are eagerly waiting to see if that squeaky clean Ryan image remains intact by the time the dust settles. Before you start thinking this is just another random piece of hearsay, let's talk about how the meltdown chatter came to light. Because, baby, once the rumor mill started churning, it churned fast. A few months back, folks began claiming that Ryan had a heated outburst on set, something that just does not align with the comedic sweetheart we're used to. The earliest talk was so hush-hush that most fans waved it off. After all, how many times have we heard about drama on a movie set that turned out to be as real as a $3 bill? But then more details trickled out. People with connections to the production started hinting that maybe there was something more serious going on. Nobody was willing to go on record, of course, but you know how the internet can be. A rumor as juicy as Ryan Reynolds lost his mind on set was bound to blow up. Suddenly, Twitter was on fire, YouTube channels were speculating, and fans were bracing themselves for any official statement to confirm or deny the meltdown. In the midst of this swirl of gossip, one question stood out. Why would a man as level-headed as Ryan Reynolds lose his cool like that? Most folks believe it's a mix of the insane pressures of working with Marvel. Tight filming schedules, towering expectations, creative differences, and so on. Another angle is that Ryan's comedic brilliance often comes with a desire for control, and maybe he clashed with someone who didn't see his vision. However it went down, the rumors only got louder, eventually culminating in one bombshell claim. Marvel has receipts. Now, what are these so-called receipts exactly? Depending on who you ask, they're either harmless production notes or downright damning evidence of a meltdown that no PR spin can fix. Some folks say these documents could include production schedules, showing repeated script rewrites, apparently triggered by Ryan's insistence on adding punchlines or changing scenes. Others whisper that there might be memos detailing a big confrontation, possibly with a co-star or a frustrated director who'd had enough of the endless comedic bits. The wildest theory out there is that there's actual footage or audio capturing Ryan in full meltdown mode, raising his voice and maybe tossing out a few censored words he definitely wouldn't say in front of his mama. Nobody's confirmed that, of course, and Marvel itself has been tight-lipped. But honey, if there's even a whiff of truth to these claims, you better believe we are looking at a possible turning point in Ryan's career. Part of what makes these receipts so intriguing is Marvel's usual approach. The studio is famously protective of its image, controlling the narrative with an iron fist. For them to have receipts floating around that even insiders are talking about, that suggests something so big that it can't just be swept under the rug. It's also a sign that the meltdown story might have legs, meaning this rumor could be more than gossip. It could be a legit fiasco waiting to blow up in the press. If you're wondering why people are so fixated on these alleged receipts, consider how damaging they could be to Ryan's relationship with Marvel. Now, Ryan's star power is no joke. He's not some newbie trying to make his name in showbiz. He's a massive box office draw who practically rescued certain superhero properties from the brink of irrelevance. People will line up just to hear him deliver witty one-liners. But no star is bigger than the Marvel machine. If these receipts prove Ryan was a nightmare on set, or even just a major disruption, Marvel might think twice about hitching too many of their future projects to him. Fans, of course, are torn. Some say that if all of this is legit, it won't undo years of entertainment that Ryan has gifted us. After all, everybody snaps sometimes, right? Other folks believe a meltdown is a meltdown, and if you're being unprofessional to the point where your own studio is archiving evidence, well, that's a big yikes moment. There's also the possibility that the meltdown overshadowing the next Marvel release could spook the studio enough to do damage control, like limiting Ryan's promotional appearances or steering the conversation far from behind-the-scenes drama. Meanwhile, the box office stakes are enormous. Marvel invests insane money in these films, and any controversy big enough to overshadow a release date can cut into profits. Best believe those Disney executives do not want that. So if these receipts come out, or if the meltdown story intensifies, we might see swift action from top brass. And swift action in Hollywood can mean anything from forced apologies to major casting shakeups. As for Ryan himself, well, he's been playing it cooler than a scoop of mint chocolate chip. His social media is still jam-packed with jokes, adorable shout-outs to his family, and cheeky references to upcoming film projects. On the surface, it's business as usual. But rumor has it that behind the scenes, he's in full-blown panic mode. Think about it, he's always been the comedic Teflon man. Criticism barely sticks because he's so darn likable. A meltdown, though, might be the first real dent in that armor. So if Marvel truly has proof that he was out here hollering like he lost his mind, he's got every reason to worry. Some supporters say, hey, we're all human. Even the best of us have a rough day. They believe Ryan's meltdown could have been triggered by typical production stress, too many retakes, too many script changes, or some big disagreement that just got out of hand. The real question is whether this was just one meltdown or part of a broader issue. If the receipts show a pattern of behavior, that's a whole other story. Ryan is known for turning awkward moments into comedic gold. Remember those times he publicly joked about personal controversies? That approach usually charms people into thinking no harm done. But can even Ryan Reynolds talk his way out of Marvel receipts that show him cussing folks out or pushing for so many rewrites that production nearly went off the rails? Baby, that's a tough challenge even for him. Now let's talk about the real tea. Who leaked these receipts and why? Marvel runs an operation so secretive that half the time, even the actors don't know exactly what they're filming. So the idea that private documents or hush-hush videos are making the rounds suggests someone on the inside decided it was time to spill. It could be a disgruntled employee who felt overshadowed by Ryan's comedic presence. Maybe a staff member wanted to highlight serious on-set issues. Or possibly a rival faction within the giant Marvel machine is playing games. Hollywood is no stranger to power struggles. Directors, producers, and actors sometimes clash over creative control. If Ryan was pushing extra hard for comedic rewrites while others wanted to keep the script on track, that friction could have escalated. If receipts exist, whoever leaked them must have known it would blow up. People aren't content to keep quiet if they've got gold in their hands, especially in an industry where leverage is everything. A meltdown from one of the biggest names in the biz? That's front page news. And let's not forget about the fans. Some are so protective of Ryan that they'll defend him through thick and thin. Others can't resist a juicy scandal. This means the entire meltdown saga becomes clickbait gold. Sites, blogs, and channels might be milking it for all it's worth, which only intensifies the glare on Ryan. If the receipts are real and even half as shocking as rumored, the meltdown story could overshadow anything else happening in the Marvel universe right now. So what's the next chapter in this dramatic saga? Marvel might decide to address the situation publicly, perhaps with a statement that tries to downplay the meltdown as a typical day on set. Or they could opt for complete silence, hoping fans lose interest as time goes on. Ryan might do a cutesy talk show appearance, telling a comedic spin on the meltdown rumors that leaves folks wondering what really happened. That's all par for the course in Hollywood damage control. But here's the catch. If more receipts surface, the story could blow wide open. A single clip of Ryan yelling or a memo describing unprofessional behavior could go viral in minutes. At that point, Marvel might have to pivot to full crisis management, deciding whether to back Ryan or throw him under the bus to protect the brand. Remember, this is a multi-billion-dollar franchise that can't afford any major hits to its reputation, no matter how beloved the star in question might be. It's entirely possible that once the movie releases, and if it's a smash hit, people will forget about the meltdown altogether. Audiences have a short memory when dazzled by comedic brilliance and flashy special effects. However, if the meltdown rumor hangs in the air, the press could be relentless. Every interview question might circle back to, did you really have that meltdown? What do you say about the receipts? Eventually, the brand will overshadow the meltdown, or the meltdown will overshadow the brand. One of those outcomes will win. So that's the story, y'all. A rumored meltdown from the man who can do no wrong. A set of receipts that might confirm he's not quite as squeaky clean as we all believed. And a studio with billions on the line. Will this be a bump in the road or a full-blown scandal? Only time will tell. But with Marvel's protective track record and Ryan's quick wit, the coming weeks promise to be more dramatic than any plot twist they've put on the big screen. Thanks for supporting the Gossip Wire. If you made it this far in the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more of the hottest celebrity news online.